Welcome to part 2 of 6 tutorial videos for building an interactive dashboard in Excel. In this section, we will be creating the Section 02 worksheet. As a reminder, Excel software is slightly different in the Windows version versus the Mac version. This tutorial video covers both versions. The appearance of the dashboard may be slightly different under the two operating systems, but the dashboards will have essentially the same functionality. Where the instructions differ for Mac versus Windows, there will be an Apple logo shown in the upper right corner of each slide that applies only to Mac users. We will be starting this tutorial where we left off in the previous tutorial video. Open the file that you saved at the end of the Section 1 tutorial. In the Excel data file you saved in the previous section, Section 1, create a new worksheet by clicking on the plus icon at the bottom of your Excel file. Double-click on the New Sheet tab and name it Section 02. Navigate to the Section 01 worksheet and click in the first pivot table. On the Pivot Table Analyze tab, click on Select. In the drop-down box, click on Entire Pivot Table. Then hit Control-C or Command-C for Mac users to make a copy of the pivot table. Navigate to the Section 02 worksheet and click in cell A3. Then hit Control-V or Command-V for Mac users to paste the pivot table copy. Now we will disconnect the new pivot table from the Market Slicer in Section 01. On the Pivot Table Analyze tab, click on Filter Connections. In the drop-down box, uncheck Market. Click OK. Drag Market out of the Rows box and drag Category into the top line of the Rows box. You can rearrange the fields in the Rows box by clicking and dragging them into position. On the Pivot Table Analyze tab, click on Insert Slicer. In the drop-down box, click on Category. Click OK. Select the top category button on your slicer, in our case, Government, R&D, and Other. Then drag the bottom up so that there is not as much blank space. Now we will create a pivot chart for the sales data. The chart will change when we click the different buttons on the category slicer. Click anywhere in the pivot table. On the Pivot Table Analyze tab, click on Pivot Chart. In the Insert Chart dialog box, click on Line. Click OK. Mac users, see the next slide for instructions. Mac users will find that Excel automatically gives you a bar chart when you click on Pivot Chart. To change the chart type if you are a Mac user, on the Design tab, click on Change Chart tab. In the drop-down box, click on Line Chart. In the dialog box that appears, click on Line Chart. For Windows users, right-click the Sum of Sales Revenue button in the chart. In the drop-down box, click Hide All Field buttons on chart. This step is not necessary for Mac users. Now back to both Windows and Mac users. To make the chart easier to read, we want to remove some of the elements. Click on the unwanted elements of the chart and hit Delete on your keyboard to make them disappear. Remove the grid lines, dollar amounts, and legend. Click on the chart title and change it to Trend of Sales for selected category. The Section 2 worksheet is complete. Click on the slicer buttons to see how the data changes with each different category selection. Be sure to save your workbook. We will be starting with it in the next section. This video was created and narrated by Dr. Wendy Tietz. Have a great day.